Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, it's time to have a look at that Tag Team GX, which we found out last week was coming, that's a little bit weird. It's Rowlet Alolan Exeggutor. It's a weird pairing, one that I wouldn't have expected, but I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it's good. This is an extremely interesting Pokemon indeed. There is a big tournament going on in Japan today. It was revealed all of that during that tournament. So what does it do? Well, if we start off with the basics, it's got 270 HP, which is honestly roughly what we'd expect. The good news is, that means that in some ways, you can play it a bit like Celebi and Venusaur. Now, Celebi and Venusaur is a Tag Team GX that has 270 HP, and it's a grass type, and that means that you can use your Life Forest Prism Star, for instance, which heals 60 damage in special conditions, or you can use a Shaman from Lost Thunder to do a little bit of healing. I'm not saying it's a replacement for Celebi and Venusaur. I am saying it's another option, and look, Celebi and Venusaur has a whole bunch of special conditions, and you can play around with that, and it does make it better as a blocker. But that doesn't mean that this couldn't be an alternative. It is weak to fire, which sucks because Blacephalon is still really, really good, and we're soon going to be getting all the fire stuff in Unbroken Bonds with stuff like Reshiram and Charizard, and fire is not a good weakness to have right now, ladies and gentlemen. And similarly, the retreat cost of 3 is really annoying because it's high, but it's not quite high enough to use buff padding. Annoyingly, you're not hitting very much for weakness as a grass Pokemon. I mean, Lycanroc, but that's pretty much about it at the moment. And in terms of the extra tricks, it's largely the healing that I've already mentioned. But this is really, in and of itself, an extra trick. So here we've got the first attack, and the first attack is great. Absolutely great. For 0 energy, remember it's got an Alolan Pokemon on. For 0 energy, search your deck for a card which evolves from one of your grass Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it. Oh, cool, it's what Spiritomb used to do. That's quite nice. Spiritomb was really good. Now, to be fair, Spiritomb also operated as item lock, so could really help in that regard. But 0 energy, search for a Pokemon and evolve it, that's literally old Spiritomb. Although this is only for grass Pokemon, Spiritomb was for any of them. Oh no, wait, sorry, I didn't actually tell you the rest of what the attack did. If you evolved into a Stage 1 Pokemon, you may search your deck for a corresponding Stage 2, and evolve the Stage 1 Pokemon into that Stage 2 Pokemon. I know, right? That's ridiculous. You can evolve a Rowlet into a Decidueye. Now, you do have to evolve it into a Dartrix and then into a Decidueye, but that's alright, ladies and gentlemen. We can roll with this. Now, I should have mentioned our translation comes from the lovely David Hochmann here, and of course, the very first thing I did was I messaged David, and I said, hang on a second, David. Does this mean that you can evolve a basic grass into a Stage 2 in one go with this ability, or this attack? And David says yes, and I've checked with a couple of other people, so there's a couple of people on this translation, not just David. He's checked with a couple of friends around him. This is how it works. Now, you do have to have the Dartrix and the Decidueye. It's not like Rare Candy where you can skip the evolution. You need to do the evolution. The key thing here is you can get the evolution in one go. You can just jump straight from Rowlet to Dartrix to Decidueye, and you end the turn with it down. And that means that you can evolve these Pokemon straight away. If you're worried about your opponent KOing a Rowlet, don't worry about it. Put down the Rowlet and immediately evolve it up into a Decidueye. One of the things that is seeing a lot of play over in Japan at the moment is the upcoming Dugong. And the Dugong for 3 energy does 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Which means that if you put down 2 Rowlet, your opponent can take out both of them before you can evolve them. So what you do is you put one of them down and just evolve it straight up. This reminds me a little bit about Leafeon, but this is way better than Leafeon. Leafeon, I mean, look, it's for 1 energy, which is nice, although this is for 0. And Leafeon evolves all of your basics into stage 1s. It does not evolve stage 1s into stage 2s. This just gets you a stage 2. And look, you can use this to evolve into a stage 1. And there'll be turns where you want to, but most of the time that's not the use for this. You can just wait till next turn and evolve manually. The reason for this is just to get a stage 2 on the field in one go. Now it has to be grass, and Decidueye is the one that immediately springs to mind. But don't forget that Grubbin is a grass Pokemon, and you are evolving your grass Pokemon. You're not evolving into a grass Pokemon. So you can get, presumably, from a Grubbin right up to a Vikavolt, which is pretty gosh darn nice. Again, there's only one grass symbol, so the ruling here seems to be, and we don't have full confirmation, because we'd need an official ruling for that, but it seems to be that you evolve a grass Pokemon, but then you can just evolve whatever it evolves into again, even though you would essentially be evolving a stage 1 Lightning. This is over the top good. And again, we go back to the tankiness of it. Against something like Blacephalon, this isn't going to be good, but against almost anything else, you pop it active, use 0 energy so your energy can go somewhere else, use this to evolve, and then if you're about to get KO'd, your Max Potion or Ace Roller, do this for a couple turns, get all your stage 2s out and roll. This is a phenomenal first attack. The fact that you can just Ace Roller or Max Potion because you don't need any energy, the fact that you get all your stage 2s out and then you just go. I love it. If you have any interest in any stage 2 grass Pokemon whatsoever, you should be a little bit excited about this. And I know I'm using Decidueye as an example because that's the one that's probably seen the most play, but it could be anyone. It could be that Vileplume people are using. So that's the Vileplume that stops your opponent's basic Pokemon attacking. Now, to be fair, you're only going to have a few weeks where they're both legal in Standard, but for the time being, just use this to get all your Vileplume out, and then Ace Roller it, and then you've just got 3 or 4 Vileplume in play. And your opponent can't knock them out because they're playing basics. It is great. Now, as for the attack here, Grass, Colourless, 150 damage, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. It's fine. With a Choice Band, you get up to 180, so you are getting a bunch of stuff like Blacephalon, but there's plenty of other stuff like Buzzwole and above that you're not getting. We do have Promo Lurantis that you can use, but that has not proven to be particularly effective. You're just not doing quite enough damage. Against non-GXs, you'll get most of them. If you're hitting weakness against stuff like Lycanroc, even Magikarp and Wailord, you're doing enough damage to actually get a full one-hit KO here, because they're weak. So if you're hitting for weakness, it's great. And against non-GXs, it's pretty good. Otherwise, with a Choice Band, you'll get a few. You won't get everyone. Still a decent attack, but this is not really the reason to play it. Nice attack, but if you're not hitting for weakness, I fear that 2 coloured energy and a 3rd energy to only do 150 is potentially not quite enough. As for the GX attack, free grass energy, 200 damage. That's alright. Then you add a Choice Band, you get stuff like Gardevoir on down, so, you're not getting tag team GXs, but you're getting the vast majority of GXs, so that's alright. If this Pokemon has free extra energy attached to it, shuffle all energy attached to each of your opponent's Pokemon into their deck. You get rid of all of your opponent's energy. That's pretty good. It might not quite be up there with Sylveon and Gardevoir that makes your opponent shuffle their entire hand into their deck. Might not quite be good enough. But make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is disruptive. The biggest issue you're going to have here is you've got to have the free extra energy on. And grass is not the easiest type to accelerate. Yes, you've got Venusaur who doubles up all of your grass, but that doesn't accelerate, that just doubles up. You've still got to have free energy on with Venusaur out in order to use this. But it's not terrible. It strikes me as a kind of GX attack you're not going to be able to use as much as you would like, because you're just not going to have the energy on there. But 200 damage while getting rid of all of their energy, I mean, this is the kind of GX attack that wins you games. It does remind me very much of Celebi and Venusaur's GX attack that does 180, but if you've got extra energy on, shuffle all cards in your discard pile into your deck so you just recover everything you own. And that is often a game-winning attack. And people use that. And remember, it's free extra energy, not free extra grass energy. So you could do this for 4 grass and a double colorless. Still awkward, but it's not really much worse than Celebi and Venusaur, and people have got that working. It's the kind of thing you have to build up for this. Takes a while. But don't forget, we've got stuff like Tag Switch coming out, which lets you move 2 energy from a Tag Team GX to another Pokemon. So there's nothing to stop you accelerating energy to a different Pokemon, then tag switching it over, for instance. Either way, it's not a bad GX attack. It's not amazing. It's not a bad GX attack. The attacks here are fine, but I think the really amazing, lovely, awesome thing here is the first attack. The fact that it is for 0 energy, the fact that it allows you to just evolve up straight away. I mean, look, you play a Nest Ball to get any basic you like, and then you don't even need any energy, and then by the end of the turn, you've got your stage 2 out. So your opponent can't try and take it out. And like I say, I can really see people using this with Vileplume, get a bunch of Vileplume out, and then be just like, well, no, you can't win. Gutted. I mentioned Venusaur to double up energy. You can get Venusaur out quite easily here. Or maybe even the Beedrill. Whereas if it's got any damage on, both active Pokemon are KO'd. Maybe you could play around a bit with that. The point is, we've got a bunch of options here. This is really good. I'm giving it between 4 and 5 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. It's largely for the first attack, and if they're hitting you for weakness, boo, hiss, etc. But if you're not being hit for weakness, this is going to be a very difficult Pokemon to KO. And then they're just going to have to watch you get a stage 2 out while you heal. And then you do that for a few turns, and then you got all your stage 2s out, and you're ready to go. I am really excited about this. But I would like to know how excited you are, so please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.